Poarch is a 24-year-old Filipino-American internet personality and the third most popular person on TikTok with over 66 million fans. She even holds the world record for the most popular video on the platform. Let's watch.
M to the B, it's M to the B, it's M to the B, bang.
Okay, I gotta admit, I did not find that as interesting as a lot of the planet did, but I do wish I could zoom in that far on my iPhone without looking like the sketchy moon face emoji started a Snapchat. With that in mind, plus some of the lackluster musical endeavors of Bella's TikTok competition, I didn't necessarily expect much from her first music video, Build a Bitch, just because it also broke YouTube records with 79.1 million views in its first week. More people than that watched the Super Bowl after all, and that's just a painted field interspersed with Doritos commercials. That's why I was delighted to find Build a Bitch to be a well-made music video that works its somewhat limited budget, with clever art direction, a fresh look and feel, and more defective fembots than the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. Let's rage against the machine in another viral video music installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV shows, and music videos on the web, and we rip them apart like last season's Robot Baby, and look at each gear and nodule and say, that's outdated, throw it out. But before we get into it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on music videos like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when we've got a new android to destroy. I'm trying to talk all sci-fi because there's like a sci-fi theme to this. I did watch Minority Report once and I thought, you know what? Sometimes kids get kidnapped. That's a good lesson. Also, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access exclusive episodes and virtual watch parties. Let's just dive in. This music video is a really tight story.
Welcome to Match Made Home, the perfect woman. Come on in and design the girl of your dreams.
The only girl I dream about is Mother Nature, and if I take an Ambien, her face looks really f***ed up and scary. But you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. Feminism. I love how they give us this clean art direction, framing, and sound design that all work together to set up the concept instantly, like just a few seconds and we know what we're looking at. And then we pan down underneath so we get a sense of space and location, like with the camera work. It's just good. You know what's going on. The only kind of designing women I get down with are the ones who work at Sugarbaker and Associates interior decoration firm. Underneath where the men are all upstairs, we get Bella's introduction along with some familiar female companions.
This ain't Build a Bitch. You don't get to pick and choose.
Ooh, are we about to hear from all of those dolls that I ripped apart as a child? Because I don't feel bad. If Mattel didn't want me to pop off Barbie's head and chew on it, then why would they give her such a soft, hollow skull? I think for the budget that we're apparently working with and how well we're setting up the world and the space, you can kind of forgive the mismatched lighting on some of these disembodied heads. I can kind of tell that they probably just put styrofoam heads on the conveyor belt to create those shadows because the shadows aren't moving. And then when the head on the left goes underneath a shadow, it's clearly a digital shadow. But I still appreciate the effort of going through the thing of casting people to play these different heads because she's used different women in her field, like from online personalities. Valkyrie is there, a game streamer. I sound so hip. Mia Khalifa, Dina. Some of them are like adult performers. I think by casting women in those roles who often face this double standard stigmatization that the song is talking about, it really adds and helps strengthen the message of the video. And they didn't have to do it. It could have just been her with mannequin heads all around her, and I would have expected that from other people that have made TikTok music videos like this. So I'm already like, yes, we're killing it. Clearly put budget towards this. Let's move on to see what Bella's singing about in the verse.
Bob the Builder broke my heart, but then I'm just nuts and bolts. Lot of parts were missing.
Well, who knew Bob the Builder was such a judgmental little Don't listen to him. Do you know what's under that hard hat? A giant dent shaped like the end of a 2x4 that won't heal. He got all that cosmetic surgery to change up the front of his face. He didn't even touch the real problem area. Also, it was reported that disgraced beauty YouTuber James Charles also shot an appearance for this video, but Bella cut it. But then explain why he's featured right here as the bald blinking mannequin. I really appreciate the story structure that Bella's director is using here, because they're using that first verse to show us, oh, oh yeah, men come in, they make their perfect women, and then they shoot up and walk out happily. So we get the status quo that we know is about to be challenged by Bella, who's singing. And I also love that little performance take where she's like on a conveyor belt, because they built that fence in the foreground and decorated it with all of these kind of steampunky, dark looking accessories. So that's giving us like dimension, it's giving us this reality. It feels very thoughtful. It kind of looks like they shot in an actual factory, and if so, then they clearly brought in custom built set pieces to help decorate it. I just think it's smart. I love it.
Say build a building filled with flaws and attitudes. So if you need perfect, I'm not built for you.
That's the last of my intestinal parasites hanging on after a particularly heavy dose of antibiotics. Whoever survives this round is a permanent resident because I can't take the dehydration anymore. I really love this part of the video because it shows her rejecting the defect, and they use that as a really great opportunity to give her this sinister lighting where they're lighting her with this red light from underneath. And it just works so perfectly when she looks right at the camera and gives you this like knowing evil smile where you're like, oh, she's about to shit up. I also just really appreciate when people take the opportunities to mix practical lighting with CGI effects. You have obviously a digital background with that fire underneath her. The side shot, they're not showing you any digital fire, they're just using light to sell that furnace, and it works just as well. You couldn't really do that if they weren't paying attention to those lights. Also, they're not spoon feeding you what's gonna be happening. They didn't try to make some cheesy way to show her climbing out, because that would probably look cheap for the budget level they're working with. In fact, they kind of build the suspense by having her just like make a quick move towards the top of the furnace. You don't really see where she's going. I find that really effective for transitioning to this next part of the video. I love where this is going, but I think his neck could have used a more satisfying crunch. Here, you can use this as a Foley sound effect. Okay, selfishly, this is also very therapeutic for me. This is for that Olive Garden server who gave me syphilis! I love the escalation of the story up until this point, although I will say this POV trick was a little lost on me. I can tell that it was supposed to be like, oh, he sees her coming up, and then he looks to the dials where we see that her height is all the way down, but her butt, bust, and hair is high as it can be. And then he looks back and she's suddenly really close. I don't know if we needed that because combined with this like jumpy eye effect, which maybe it looks okay, maybe if they had done like some sort of Terminator thing where it was like a red light, it would have been a little more badass, but I still get what was going on. Like, she's not perfect, you know, she's defective by the factory standards, but that's how she wants to be. So I think it's really cool. Just tiny little things we could think about changing, but don't have to. I love how strong Bella's identity comes through in her work with just this first song. And we should all work to protect our identity using Privacy, the sponsor of today's video. Privacy lets you buy things online using virtual payment cards instead of your real one, which protects your identity and your bank information on the internet. New customers will automatically get $5 to use towards their first purchase. Go to privacy.com/NickDiRamio to sign up now. Making purchases online with Privacy is super simple and fast. With just a few clicks, you can make virtual cards and you can use their browser extension. This will automatically detect the checkout fields on the page and create a dynamic card number for your purchase. I also love to use virtual cards for each one of my subscription services and set a limit for each month on how much I'm expecting that company to charge me. Head to privacy.com/NickDiRamio to sign up now and get $5 off automatically towards your first purchase. Now back to this new world order that Bella Poarch is inciting. I'm here for it. Let's see what happens next.
They don't look like cannibals, hardly have a heartbeat.
I love the voice, I love the music, I love the lyrics, and most of all, I love how she's smashing the patriarchy while looking gorgeous. When she grabbed that fire axe, I got scared. I grabbed a trash can lid. I love her voice when she's like, hardly have a heartbeat. So she's smashing the machine and causing a ruckus.
It's a brown or blue, say build a building filled with flaws and attitude, not built for you.
That last girl is me shopping for groceries after an edible. Is Trader Joe himself available for a bread consult? I'm not sure how many of these will fit. Again, we're about halfway through the video here, so I really appreciate the way this is building. I'm not feeling like we're stuck in these repetitive glamour shot, boring performance takes that a lot of music videos tend to give us. Like Addison Rae was definitely guilty of this, and so is Dixie D'Amelio. Not only is this song nice and short, but also the video itself is, where every time Bella is on screen, screen, she's moving the story forward, which I think there's a lot to be said about that level of like kind of artistic restraint. Plus, when these girls are moving through their kind of factory, there's like these freaky strobe lights. We're dollying along with her while she's handing out these weapons. Everybody gets this kind of stylized blocking so that they're like moving like these robots. It looks very dancerly. So there's something going on with every aspect that you look at. The lighting and the special effects with the sparks are working together to sell everything. So it just doesn't look artificial. Everything you look at feels like, oh, I believe that. Your eye subconsciously is like, this is a real scene. I'm believing what I'm seeing. Oh hey, they used my cell phone footage from the last time I returned something to a Kmart. I think Bella looks so cool here. This TikTok style choreography I think really shines in this stylized chaos around her. It looks super cinematic. Also, after watching like compilations of her top TikTok videos, this definitely feels like an upscaled version of what she already does on the app, where she kind of pulls like a lot of very animated moves and she has like really high-end anime influenced fashion. And this video has all of that, but it just feels like it's on a larger scale. Like if we were watching her on a phone before, now we're watching her on a movie screen, which I think is exactly the kind of move you want to make as a TikTok star if you're trying to break into mainstream music. You want people to realize like, oh, you're capable of really filling up a larger space. The girls are just smashing this place apart. I would be sitting in the corner with a bulletproof vest, welding mask, and a bucket of popcorn, like, get the copying machine next. I love the girl who is like, and I'm gonna throw that paperweight. Ugh. All right, Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, give him hell. There's some other cameos here. I'm assuming this is where James Charles would have showed up if he hadn't been cut. Tag yourself. I'm the flamboyant ice cream shop workers who have a timeshare in Provincetown and don't need any of this explosion drama, I tell you that much. I love the scale of this shot with the explosion, a great combination of practical effects, lighting, and CGI. And that's what you get for saying our bodysuits look patchy. Walking away from an explosion is obviously a cinematic hallmark by now, but I love the way Bella puts her own spin on it with this kind of jerky robot zombie and looking happily back at the work she's done. I feel like she really owned that trope. It makes it delightfully unique, and it also kind of subverts it, where you'd kind of almost normally see a man in that position, traditionally in film anyway. I'm sorry, is there a secret message in that bramble of twigs? This inscrutable font trend is really hurting my retinas. I can't be reading tea leaves just to try and know someone's name. All in all, I can absolutely see why this video got so many views, and I'm very excited to know that not all of the top TikTok stars are so lazy when it comes to making music videos. Like, this felt very promising for her career. I'm excited to see what else she does. What do you guys think of this video? Were you into it like I was? What else do you know about Bella Poarch that I need to know? Do let me know in the comments below. Also, don't be afraid to give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more TikToker music video clip breakdowns like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click on that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when I've got a new robot coming out of the box to fight ya. Also, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access exclusive episodes and bonus content. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for building a B with me today. I will see you next time. Mwah.